The Budget Killer, a nail tech's chilling discovery. Murder cases, serial killers, personal finance and budgeting, day in the life. Hey babes, it's your girl Kayana, and today we are diving into a story that starts off like any regular day at the salon, but ends with a shocking twist that still gives me chills. So grab your coffee, maybe even your budget planner, and let's get into this wild day in the life of a nail tech where budgeting meets blood trails. You ready? Okay, let's go. It was a bright Monday morning, and I was already deep into my finance planner before the birds even finished singing. I'm not gonna lie, after almost overdrafting last month, I made a vow to myself, no more financial chaos. So, there I was, sipping on my almond milk latte, writing out every single expense for the week, from booth rent to backup nail glue. I had my usual 9 a.m. client, Mrs. Lacey, retired school teacher, sweet as pie, but talks your ear off about true crime documentaries. Ironic, huh? Anyway, I packed up my nail kit, triple-checked my budget app, and headed over to Gloss Boss Studio, my little booth in a shared salon off East 5th Street. It's a cozy spot next to a boba shop and a tax prep office, and on Mondays, it's usually just me and this one other girl, Sherry, who braids hair in the back. Lacey rolled in right on time, purse in one hand, a Starbucks cup in the other. She settled into the chair and pulled out a Ziploc bag full of coupons. "Budget queens stick together," she laughed. As I soaked her cuticles and filed her nails into almond shape, she launched into a story about a local serial killer she swore she saw once at a Piggly Wiggly. I laughed, but something about her tone today felt off, like she knew something she wasn't supposed to say out loud. Then she whispered, "You ever hear of the Ledger Man?" I froze. Turns out this supposed serial killer targeted women who overspent on credit cards, racked up debt, and left behind a trail of budget planners with big red X's over missed payments. Lacey said he's been active since 2022, but the police think it's just urban legend because the victims lived in different states. After Lacey left, I sat down to eat my turkey sandwich and review my weekly budget. But something weird caught my eye. My iPad had a new document open titled Expense Tracker KK, y'all. I didn't open that. I clicked it, and it was a spreadsheet with all my financial info, down to my emergency savings and how many Afterpay payments I had left on that acrylic drill kit. There was a note at the bottom. Debt is deadly. You have until July 1st. Chills ran down my spine. I thought maybe it was a prank. Maybe Sherry did it? But when I turned to ask her, she was gone. And get this. The camera at the front of the salon had been unplugged. At 2:58 p.m., my next appointment walked in, booked online just an hour ago. She had no social media linked to her profile, no references, and paid in cash for a full set. She said her name was Mia, and she wanted blood red stilettos with black tips. Okay, strange, but I've done weirder. As I got to work, she asked a lot of questions about how much I charged, what I spent on supplies, if I had health insurance. Said she was doing a personal finance podcast on service workers. Mia kept glancing at her phone, like she was waiting on a message. And then I saw her open an app, the same budgeting app I use, same username as the creepy doc on my iPad. I asked her straight up, "Hey, do you run a finance blog or something?" She smiled real slow and said, "I only budget lives, not money." Soon as she left, I locked the salon doors, called the police, and forwarded everything. Her booking info, the spreadsheet, even a pic I snapped of her license plate. But here's where it gets weird. The officer said there have been 6 unsolved murders in beauty salons across 5 states. All women, all self-employed, all using the exact same budget app. Each victim's planner had the same red X's. Guess who developed the app? Mia. Full name, Mia Ledger. Y'all, the Ledger Man? Ain't no man at all. So now I carry pepper spray, switched budgeting apps, and keep all my financial stuff handwritten in a safe. Morale of the story? Watch your coins, but also watch your clients. Because budgeting might save your life, but oversharing might cost it. Later that night, I was back in my apartment, curled up on the couch, still shaken. I had my planner open, trying to cross-check everything again, but I couldn't focus. That's when my phone buzzed with a delivery alert. Odd. I didn't order anything. I peeked outside, and there it was. A brown package on my doorstep. No return label, no name. I brought it in, hesitated, then opened it slowly with my cuticle nippers. Inside was a brand new budget planner. Blood red cover. Inside, the first page had my name in gold cursive, Kayana K, and a quote printed at the bottom, "Your spending habits have consequences." I flipped through the pages in disbelief until I got to July. All the days from the 1st through the 31st were filled out in advance. Appointments I hadn't scheduled yet, purchases I hadn't made. Even my grocery list for next week was written in. At the very bottom of the month, in a handwriting I instantly recognized from old nail receipts and client cards, were 3 chilling words. "See you soon." I dropped the planner and backed away slowly, realizing that this wasn't just about money. Someone had been tracking my every move, down to my polish inventory and how many clients I book when rent is due. This wasn't a random client. This was someone who had been in my chair before, someone who knew me well. And suddenly, I wasn't sure if Mia was the killer or just the messenger. I couldn't sleep. The planner sat on my kitchen counter like it was watching me. I went into full detective mode, pulled up all my client history, highlighted names that had paid in cash or canceled last minute, or asked too many questions about my finances. And that's when I noticed it. One name kept popping up, once every couple of months, always under a new alias. Sometimes she booked under Mia, other times Jade, Tanya, or Reese. Same handwriting on her forms, same preferred nail style, red stiletto with black tips. Each time she came just before I got hit with a financial setback, like my car breaking down or a surprise rent increase. It was like she was following the rhythm of my life, waiting for me to fall behind. I went back to the salon early the next morning before sunrise. Something told me to search. I unlocked the back storage room, the one Sherry always kept locked, even though she barely kept anything in there. I pushed past boxes of old towels, spare hair supplies, and then a loose tile behind the utility shelf. When I pulled it off, I found a box of planner pages. Real ones. Torn from the journals of other techs and stylists, some of whom had vanished without a trace. There were notes scribbled in the margins. Too much debt. Living above means? Final notice sent. Each one marked with a red check and an appointment date. I froze. Mine was listed June 21st. That was next week. I turned to leave, ready to call the cops. Again. But the front door to the salon was already open. A soft creak echoed from the hallway. Then I heard it. Heels. Click, click, click. Slow. Steady. Deliberate. I reached for the pepper spray in my bag, heart pounding. I peeked through the crack in the door and saw her, Mia, or whatever her real name was, walking in like she owned the place, holding a little gift bag. Inside was a nail file and what looked like another planner. "I figured we'd reschedule your appointment early," she said with a smile that didn't touch her eyes. After all, budgeting is all about timing. To the channel where mystery meets nail obsession. I break down chilling cases, shocking twists, and unsolved stories you won't stop thinking about. Disclaimer, the crime stories shared on this channel are fictional and created purely for entertainment purposes. Viewer discretion is advised, as the themes may still include sensitive or suspenseful content. Watch as I bring you thrilling tales well. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss an upload.